and this is the primary reason osteoporosis strikes women harder than men. Physical activity is also the reason why women throughout the world who consume very low amounts of calcium keep their strong bones during and after menopause. Contrary to what you've been told, bone loss does not occur with age. It occurs when people become less active. You'll get enough calcium on any diet. Let your body determine the amount of calcium it needs, not the dairy industry. What you have to do is make your bones want to be stronger by exercising them. If they don't feel that need, like the bones of astronauts in space, they'll become weaker. Sharing heart disease among family and friends is part of the American way of life, and to suggest you not share diseases with your loved ones is downright un-American. Many people have taken to sharing the so-called lighter meats, like chicken, turkey, pork, and fish, thinking this will somehow prevent bad things from happening to their family and friends. If your doctor told you eating lighter meats will lower your cholesterol, you're just playing with your food.
What's the difference between white meat and red meat, in your opinion?
It's a question of whether you want to be shot or hung. I mean,
if you get a 3-ounce piece of steak, you get 75 milligrams of cholesterol. If you get a 3-ounce serving of white meat, skinless chicken, you get 72 milligrams of cholesterol. I mean, basically it's pretty much the same.
Health authorities like to talk about reducing risks by eating lighter meat, but reducing the risk of a heart attack isn't preventing one. The only way you're going to prevent a heart attack is to get your cholesterol below 150. And eating lighter meats won't get you there. So what about that good fat in fish? Well, that good fat originally came from plants, the plants eaten by fish. So you're not only getting the good fat secondhand, but you're getting it in a package of bad fat, cholesterol, PCBs, pesticides, and other poisons. And calorie for calorie, shrimp have 6 times the amount of cholesterol as beef. To say eating fish is healthy because it contains a little good fat is like saying Twinkies is healthy because it contains a little calcium. And what about those dairy products? Dairy, in fact, has been called liquid meat because it contains just as much fat and cholesterol as red meat. Drinking 3 glasses of milk a day, as the dairy industry and our government recommends, gives you the same amount of artery-clogging cholesterol as eating 21 slices of bacon. A pint of ice cream is worth 24 slices of bacon. And at least one protein in dairy may trigger the onset of insulin-dependent diabetes in children. At least one hormone in dairy has been strongly linked to breast and prostate cancer. Over 50% of school children are allergic to dairy, and 70% of the population is lactose intolerant, particularly people of color. And due to the strong dairy lobby in Washington, this fat and cholesterol-laden food is required eating for all children enrolled in federal lunch programs, which also amounts to nutritional persecution of minorities due to their high rates of lactose intolerance. And yet, most doctors and dietitians still recommend milk every day. The next time you give your child milk and cookies, imagine giving them meat and cookies, because that's exactly what they're getting. We live in a strange world when it comes to eating.
Don't you think it's strange that 1/3 of our raw materials and fossil fuels are consumed raising animals to eat? Don't you think it's strange that with the fuel used to create just a single hamburger, you could drive a car 20 miles? Don't you think it's strange that it's actually cheaper to drive a car any distance than to walk that same distance if your calories came from beef?
Don't you think it's strange that hamburger, one of the most resource-intensive and expensive foods on the planet, costs less than raspberries? Ever wonder how it's possible that fast food chains can still sell a hamburger for 99 cents? It's possible because of politics. Because our politicians provide massive subsidies to the animal food industries in return for political campaign financing. And without these subsidies, the cost of animal foods would be like it was in the past, and only the wealthy would be eating themselves to death. Because beef steak today would cost over $90 a pound without these subsidies. You may think you're calling the shots when you're preparing meals, but there's a politician in your kitchen, and he's already decided what you'll be eating tonight. In fact, the most health-dangerous eating habit in human history is purely the result of government interference in the marketplace. Not only do animal food industries get subsidies to keep them in business, but they get a determining influence on our nutrition policies as well. The animal food lobbies have had their claws into everything from designing the government food pyramid to staffing government bureaucracies to setting our nutritional standards. And having these industries on government committees that decide what's healthy for Americans is like having Joe Camel on a committee designed to help people quit smoking. This is why so many Americans do everything right, yet die from following government guidelines.
Food industries spend $30 billion a year marketing their products. The marketing effort to promote natural whole foods is a mere $30 million a year. In other words, we spend over $100 per person each year promoting foods that cause disease and shorten lives, and only a dime promoting foods that prevent disease and prolong lives. The average consumer doesn't have a chance. Between government endorsement of animal products and heavy advertising, the typical American eats like a trained seal, and the training starts early. The average child is exposed to over 10,000 food messages on television every year, and our eating habits are an exact reflection of marketing efforts. Sad as this may sound, the best thing you can do for your child's health is to turn off the television.
Not too long ago, Americans thought there was nothing wrong with smoking. Doctors smoked and even recommended cigarettes to their patients. Cool cigarettes ran ads that their product actually prevented colds, and the media was filled with health claims for cigarettes. The tobacco industries used doctors to prove their case, and they used health claims in their slogans. As late as 1950, the American medical community still did not think smoking was a factor in lung cancer. And the American Medical Association had a cozy financial relationship with the tobacco industry. And to this day, tobacco executives